What's good, baby? It's your boy Dale. I'm back in the saddle again. Our motto is to buy, build. We already bought it already, so we already own it, free and clear. Refinance to long-term debt, cash flow. That is the motto. Cliff, man, is that a pretty strong motto, man? What do you think?
Man, the model is strong. Like, you're getting each piece of the invest, right?
What it do, baby? It's your boys. We back in the saddle. Y'all know what today is. Today is Real Estate Friday. Today we talk all things real estate. Cliff and your partner. Cliff, what it do, baby? How was the week, big dog?
What's good, man? It's doing good, man. Doing good. Another busy week, like usual. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, man. Now, I gotta ask the question. Did we get the bag?
Oh yeah, we always get that bag.
Get that bag, baby. You know, every time we get on y'all, I gotta ask that question, did we get the bag? Because we look better than you. Okay, it's so good. That now your partner, I did get the bag. We got about 7 transactions working on, Cliff. 3 apartment complexes and one in Wyoming, South Dakota, North Dakota.
Oh, right.
Partners out there. We have the Starkville development. Let me say development.
Right.
We know about the 15 properties we already own, but we also own 18 lots as well. Already separated, ready to build on. We're working on those numbers as well. You made that off-stale transaction. We back on the saddle with that. That's 61 units on that one. And we got a new one that came in today. Actually, yesterday from Canton, Texas. 3 property new constructions, man. We trying to get it in with the people, man. We ain't playing no games. It's what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
yeah.
Anyways, man. But yes, I got that bag. And I got another one coming next week. I'll let Joe Pat. Now, man, bro, Clip, let's go right into it, man. You know, we started off every single week, man. We talk about what's going down in the market, baby, man. Let people know what's going on. What you seeing in the market, big dog?
Man, same as I was saying last week. It's slowing. I'm starting to see properties really, really slowing down a lot. The banks are starting to push back on a lot of evaluations because they don't want to get caught with the loans that are going through right now because they know the market's declining.
So what you're seeing is you're seeing banks be more conservative on the values and really making a lot of appraisers work a little harder. Is that right?
Yeah, so they are going to look at each of the valuations and then, they're gonna ask more questions. They're gonna be more engaged with some of the valuations because they know the market's about to decline and they don't want to get stuck with loans that they can't get off their books.
He preaching that thing on that one, y'all. He's right about that 100%. We kind of did that on the refinance. We kind of refinanced the 15 properties at Starkville, and the value came back a little bit lower than we thought it would be. So we're making the adjustments on the LTV and or if we need to order a new appraisal. But we'll make that decision as later on the day. I'll be talking to Cliff about that as well, guys. So he's actually right. Even as happening in Middle America, banks are becoming a little bit more conservative on the values and even lowering the LTV. Would that be right, Cliff?
Man, spot on, man. Matter of fact, I was looking at a lender this week and they got rid of their lending. They had a whole lending program. It's gone now. It's gone.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, the combination of high interest rates and declining market it's not good for banks.
It's not, guys. We told y'all, guys, that correction is coming. This was not a theory.
Oh yeah,
it's called numbers, math. Okay, get out of theory mode, get in actual mode. Okay, it's real simple. All right, guys. But today, guys, we're gonna talk about a subject, man, that is near and dear to my heart. To be honest with you. And Cliff is very aware as well because he's done it a lot, and I use it a lot in the past. I kind of use it a little bit now, but it's a term called seller financing. So, Cliff, man, this term may not be as known to a lot of investors. It may be a little bit archaic, but it's a very, 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 very good strategy if used properly. But before we kind of dive into the strategy, educate people, man, what is seller financing? What is that?
It's basically where you as the owner act as the bank and you offer to sell the property on terms to a buyer. So instead of
Okay.
instead of the buyer having to go to JP Morgan or Bank of America, you as the owner of the property say, hey, instead of you getting their loan, why don't I
Mm.
provide the loan for you and you will negotiate the terms versus you going to a third party bank?
So, guys, my question is, being the bank can be a very powerful thing. Would you not agree, Cliff?
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a reason why they own all the biggest buildings in town.
Oh, wait. So, if those that are actually listening in the comments, if you actually have the ability to actually be the bank, you can be a seller financing. You get a promissory note, a deed of trust, you get all that stuff. You get it all. It's right there, guys. You get to literally be the bank. It's a very strong strategy, and it's been used for a number of years, but it's very rarely talked about because flipping has been or renting has been the strategy of taste for a lot of investors. So Cliff, man, let's dive in a little bit more. How does seller financing work? Let's unpack a kind of a transaction, real simple.
So just as an example, let's say you have a property that you own and it's worth 100,000.
Yeah,
You can turn around and sell that property, and let's just keep the same 100,000 and make it simple.
sure.
And you can request whatever you need from the buyer. Like a bank, you might put 5% down or 10% or 20%. It's the same with seller financing. So
Mm.
if you own the property, it's worth 100,000. You could say, well, why don't you give me $20,000 down, and then I'll allow you to make payments to me for whatever interest
Mm.
rate we decide. Maybe it's current interest rates like 7, maybe we might do 9,
Mm.
9% or 10%,
Mm.
and I'll be your bank.
So basically, what you're saying is, if you're the seller of the property, Cliff, and I want to buy said property, and your sales price is $100,000, you're saying, hey, I want you to put down, let's say, hypothetically, 10% down. So
Mhm.
literally, I would bring literally $10,000 of cash to you as a down payment, and in
Right.
exchange for that 10,000, you give me a promissory note of $90,000 at a, let's say, a 9% interest rate over a, let's say, a 30-year term. Would that be correct?
Exactly. Exactly. Just like a bank, just like a normal bank, they have a promissory note. You got a promissory note. You act just like the bank.
Sure do, guys. So in this example, Cliff being the seller pocketed $10,000 up front. That's like a wholesale
Mhm.
transaction, right?
Right. Exactly.
But Cliff gets to keep the property on his balance sheet. Now, Cliff may be paying hypothetically 5% interest rate, but he's collecting 10 from me. So Cliff is making the identical amount that his bank is making on him. That's not a bad deal. Would you agree, Cliff?
Nah, not at all. That's how the world goes around, man. So if you don't understand how banks work, they're borrowing the money they're giving you is not their money. They are
No.
borrowing the money. So you might just got a house last week at 7% interest rate. The bank's getting it at 4,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just making the
Mm-hmm.
difference. And that's
That's
all
all they
they
do.
do.
That's all they do. That's all they do, guys. Real simple concept. We're gonna keep real simple now. Cliff, now, can investors grow their portfolio through seller financing?
Oh yeah. I mean, it might be the number one way to grow a portfolio because you get money down plus you get cash flow.
Yeah, you
That might be
killed
the
the
best way.
game. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it now, guys. I will tell you this: seller finance is going to be probably one of the most popular financing tools moving forward
Mm,
because of the
yeah.
fact that a lot of most owners will end up probably selling for a low interest rate. So basically, if Cliff goes to the market and Cliff wants to go ahead, let's say, buy said property for 100,000, $10,000 down, which is fine, 90,000. It's going to be the promissory note or the financed amount. Now he may want to go, if you go to JP Morgan Chase, his rate may be in, let's say, in about 6 months, 11%,
Mm,
12%. And that's not unreasonable at all, guys. I promise you it's not. Now, if I
right.
own a house, Clearly said, but Dad, I don't want to pay 12% to JP Morgan Chase. Hey, how about I pay you 9? I know it costs me 5. I'm cool with
Right.
9. I'm great with 9. So he gives me a down payment, boom, money up front, and I'm making a 4% arbitrage or delta there, which is great. Cliff is a good deal for Cliff because Cliff is not paying 12 to JP Morgan Chase. He's paying 9 to me. It was a win-win for all parties. That's going to be probably the most interesting and probably the most popular financing option moving forward. Watch my words.
Oh yeah, I think so too. It's going to be
Mhm.
big just because interest rates play a difference right now. If you're locked in at a lower interest rate and you want to sell the property, owner financing looks good.
Looks excellent. Excellent. Yes, sir. So keep your eyes out on seller financing, okay? Or another term for this owner financing. Okay, you can interchange those, or seller carryback. That's another term for seller financing as well. All right. Now, Cliff, what's the 3 most important goals when using the seller financing strategy in your opinion?
So, we talked about this a little bit before, but cash flow.
Cash flow,
right?
Okay. Cash flow is more, okay.
You're gonna also want to make sure that you have, you're protecting yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And part of that, and I'm just gonna throw in there, I like to have equity. That's as me as an investor. You don't always in seller financing,
Sure.
but I like to be able to have a little bit of equity in there.
I agree. So what Cliff is talking about, he's talking about number 1 would be a down payment. Now, why is down payment so important? Well, down payment creates that equity that's important to Cliff.
Right.
It's worth 100. You owe him 90. So theoretically, you both have equity there because he's the bank to you, as well as I'm being the buyer, and I now own the property via a deed of trust and promissory note. So we both have equity there. Okay, so Cliff's protected. So am I as well. Also, I got skin in the game too. Number 2 is cash flow. If Cliff is paying 4 and I'm giving him 9, he's making more than his lender is. It benefits me because of the fact that I'm not paying 12, I'm paying 9. So it's a win-win for everybody. And also Cliff got the down payment as well, which is an equity portion also. So Cliff is making some money up front, and also he's making a residual or passive income. And it could be anywhere from, it could be a 10-year, it could be a 30-year term, 5-year arm. It could be a 30-year term, 10-year arm. I mean, you could get real flexible with the terms. And I ain't gonna go too deep there, okay? The last one is protecting yourself. Now, why do we say this here? You gotta make sure that you structure the transaction the right way. In this area, do not be cheap here. Get a real estate attorney involved in this transaction. Let me say it again. A real estate attorney, okay, that specializes in this area. Cliff, is that really important, bro, when it comes to protecting yourself?
100%. Because if anything goes on with the seller finance deal, it's going to court. And you're going to have to make sure that everything you did was correct. And really good is to make sure that you use a lawyer to draw your promissory notes that is not related or in any way or affiliated with the title company. You want to make sure those 2 things are separate. So that way you don't deal with the title company's lawyer because they say, oh, there's some commingling or something going on. You want to make sure that you will do things the right way, use your own lawyer that's separate, and that they do things correctly with the state statutes.
That is correct. That is key, guys. We learned that, guys, to be honest with you, through experience. Through experience. We wasn't taught this. We had to go out and learn the hard way. So we teaching you all this. Right. All right, guys. We're going to end it on this here, guys. On the course. Me and Cliff talked about this a while back. I have decided, and Cliff can do the same thing with people that he knows. We want to begin to kind of scholarship some people, and we're going to begin of course with our family members when it comes to the course. I'm going to personally scholarship at least 5 people to our course. Scholarship means that we're going to allow for you to get access to this for free because of the fact that we want you to begin to build generational wealth. Okay, now how can you get involved with that? Well, what me and Cliff are going to do, and Cliff, let me know if you agree, we're gonna think of a way for us to maybe have like a drawing of some sort, to where we can actually you can refer people over that you may know that may need to see this training. We talk about subject to investing training, how to buy and flip a house in 90 days, the power team, and I may even add a seller financing portion of that thing too. I just made an announcement. I may add that up in there too, y'all. Seller financing. We talk about a deep dive into seller financing. All right, guys. So Cliff, man, you good with that, dog? What do you think about that thing, bro?
Nah, I like that. I mean, the more people that guys, the reason why we're doing this is trying to help people. You know, we in the trenches. I seen Dale. We've been through some things. Contractors not showing up, stealing the money, having to deal with buyers and sellers and all that kind of stuff. So what we're doing is we're trying to let y'all know that this is from experience that we're talking, and we're trying to help people really understand what's going on, because I'm telling you, a handful of deals can change your life.
Oh,
you know, there's a lot of people who don't retire. They don't have the money they need. They don't have the things they need. And you know, buying a rental property or 2 or 3. And I've ran into these people when they're older and they've got 6, 7 properties, and that's how they retired. They sold all their properties, like 7 of them. They made like $800,000, if not more, and that's how they retire.
You don't need, guys, 25, 30 properties.
Right.
To retire. You can retire off of 5 or 6 or 7 properties. It depends on how you structure the deals. The arbitrage on that thing. Arbitrage is a delta. Get used to these words: delta, arbitrage. Okay, cash flow, leverage. We're using these words in this live so you get used to these terms, because you got to know when you walk into a negotiation, if someone uses these terms, you better know what they mean. Because if not, you're going to get taken advantage of. So it depends on how you structure the transaction. Give you a quick example. I've had seller financing transactions to where I'm paying 2 to my debt as far as debt service, okay, and I'm collecting 10, and that was on 6 properties, 6. So, but guys, man, that's all I really had for today, guys, concerning this. If we want to get in and get out, guys, course is about ready to go. And I think, Cliff, next week, man, we should look at going in a little bit, man, on how to deal with difficult contractors. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the term next week, guys. How to deal with difficult contractors on a project. Cliff, we got some stories on it. Man.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not if it's gonna happen. This is when you're gonna deal with one that is just not gonna, you know, they don't show up, or the price is too high, or they try to renegotiate during the renovation. Man, it's so much. It's so much. So like, just listen in and like use this kind of stuff. Use the things we saying to help, because like we saying, man, every little bit makes life easier.
It does, man. It does, man. So put it in on. Write it down. Next week is going to be how to deal with difficult contractors, guys. How to deal with that thing, man. Y'all come ready for that. One's going to be a fun-filled discussion, guys. But guys, thank you so much for your time. God bless you. Cliff, you want to say anything, man, before we end, big dog?
Nah, man. Just enjoy the weekend.
Enjoy the weekend, man. Hey, man, go love on somebody, man. Go love on somebody, man. Put down the phone, man, and be intensive with your family, man. All right, guys. Well, man, thank you so much for your time. God bless you. We'll see you next Friday at the same time. God bless you guys. Peace. You, real estate investor. Hey, let me ask you a quick question. How much money could you make if you had access to an unlimited amount of capital to acquire your real estate with no credit check, strictly asset-based financing, and quick closings? My name is Liddell Buggs, president of 316 Cap. We are a residential and commercial real estate finance company. Click on the link below or swipe up to have someone from our staff contact you to assist you in closing your next real estate transaction.